Hey, greetings. So in the last video, we discussed about template-driven forms. Now in this video, we'll continue about reactive forms. Okay. So as discussed earlier, template-driven form focusing mainly on HTML template. Okay, we do a lot in HTML template, whereas here in reactive forms, we do a lot in component class. Okay, that is the TypeScript file. Okay, so it is created inside a component class. So it is also referred as model driven forms. Every form control will have an object in the component. And this provides greater control and flexibility in the form programming, right? So here we have two classes. One is form control. Next one is form group. So form control means, we will create elements inside the form, right? So that one form is what we call form control. One element text box is what we call form control, and the whole form is what we call form group here. Right. So we actually going to create objects for these in the component class. So that's very important. And okay, here is the steps. So first step, we need to import reactive forms module. In template driven, we use forms module. Here we use reactive forms module. Just have a look at it. Here it is forms module from Angular Forms. Here it is reactive forms module from Angular Forms. Okay. We are just going to import that in the app.module.ts file. That's step one. Step two, as same, creating component. Step three, we need to import form group class and form control class in the TS file. Okay, component TS file. And then we are going to add a form, and in the TS file, we are going to handle it. That's it. And now let's see how to do that. This is our template driven forms project. And here I have another project created, reactive forms. Okay, it is just an empty project. Now let's go to app folder, app.module.ts. Step one, we need reactive forms module. And let us wait for the TypeScript to get updated. Like you can see it here. Okay, it is loading the IntelliSense. Usually it will be faster, and the first time if you are opening a project, it needs something to work around in the background. So that's what it is doing right now. Once it is ready, then okay. So now, okay, IntelliSense is working and we are good to import. Yes, we have imported. So step one is done. Let's save it. Let me open the terminal, and I don't want PowerShell. Let me open a command prompt and we'll delete this PowerShell. In the command prompt, let me run it, ngserve-o to open the browser. And okay, let's create another command prompt. There we'll just generate a component, ng generate component. Let's say user. Oh my God, skip test we forget. Okay, no problem. We'll delete that skip test. So it is about to create a component. So, okay, first step is done. Second step is we are doing. And the third one is we need to import these two classes in the from the Angular forms. So let's come back and check. Yes, it is created, ready. Here it is. So spec.ts file I don't want, so let me delete it. Move to recycle bin. Okay, done. And now let's open the component TS file, and we have the selector. Let's just copy it. We'll go to app component.html. Let's select everything and delete it. And let's add it as a tag. And to confirm whether is that working. Okay, anyhow, like it is still generating in the browser. We'll wait for the response. Okay, we have added it successfully. Now let's keep it closed. Now the next step is, the second step is we need to import form group form control in the component class. So let's go to component class. Here it is. And we are going to import what we are going to import form group and form control from at Angular forms. Okay, we have imported it. So the next step is also done, and still it is working. Okay. And the fourth step is we need to create a form. So what I'll do, let me use the previous template itself. Okay. So this one, let me copy. This is for template driven we created. And let us use the same for reactive form also. Let's open the HTML, paste it, and this is reactive forms. Example for reactive form. Right? So now in reactive form, a few changes we have to do. Okay, and the first change is instead of this template reference variable, we are going to replace it with the form group property. How? See here, actually its name is user form. Okay, that's how previously we used it. Let's use the same thing here, and the form group, and its name is user form. We just give the same name. So same name, user form dot value. So form group is being added. ng submit is already added. Form group and ng submit is already added. And the form control name in every control. Okay. So in previous template driven, we use ng model. Instead now we are going to replace it with form control name equals the name of this control. Okay. So you name. The same way, let's replace this with form control name equals email, and form control name equals phone. That's it. So only these two changes. So we just added the form group property and we have included form control name for every single element. Next we need to add a on submit, and also we have to use this user group, and let's do that. Now let's declare an initial form group and form control in the TS file. Okay. So let's go to TS file, and we just declare variables like form group. Group is one variable, and next one is name control, or let's say name. Okay, it's of type string. Form group, this is of type okay, again string. And the name email, and the phone, because in reactive form we need objects. Okay, we need objects for every control and group. Okay, so here let's the group name be user form. User form, because that is how we wanted it to be named here, user form. So let us use the same name. Okay, let me save it. And now in ng on init, let's just create this. So this dot user form equals new form group. Okay, so one object we are trying to create it here. This dot user form is equal to new form group. Okay, so let's just have it as any. Because they are not string, they are objects. So, okay. Actually, here I have used exclamation. Exclamation means if you are using string data, sometimes it can be null, sometimes it will be undefined. Okay. So the TypeScript will not directly allow you to declare something like this. And if you want, you can add an exclamation. Exclamation means strictly this variable will have only string data. It will never keep null or undefined. And that's what it means. Okay. So, but now it is not going to be string, it's an object. So let me keep it any, and we just remove exclamation, because variable is declared, but we haven't assigned anything, something like this. Okay, and that is why we need that exclamation if it is a string data. Okay, so new form group of what? So let's create that within this curly braces. Okay, within this form group we will have a name property. This dot name equals new form control, and that is why we imported these two classes at the top. So first control means it's a text box. Okay, and this dot this dot okay email. Okay, so since within ng on init we don't need this keyword, and okay, let's use uname. So here it is going to be uname, and let's save it. Here it is uname only, right? And let us have this on submit. So data of type any, right? So now the HTML problem error is fixed because we just added this one method. Let's come back and continue here. New form group of form control uname equals new form control. Okay, and we have nothing here. Empty. And the form new form control with empty data. Okay. Let me save it and let's wait whether it's that fixed. Okay, so okay, so here it's supposed to be replaced with colon. I forgot to add that. Okay, done. So we created a reactive form, and all these controls has a corresponding object. Okay, corresponding object here. Now, when you get the data, when they submit, when we get the data, we need to update the data uh, to these properties. And to do that, we'll use this dot uname equals data dot uname, and this dot email equals data dot email, and this dot phone equals data dot phone. And now let's log in the console.log data. No, console.log this dot user form. And let's see what happens. Let me save it. And let's get into the browser. Okay, we got the reactive form ready. So there are small changes, but the important thing is we need objects created for every control in the component class. Okay, that's very important. So here also we can see that the same pristine, invalid, touched, untouched, all that comes in. Okay, and let's open the console. Okay, to test it. Now let's say Raja at gmail.com and some phone number. Let's hit submit. Okay, we got the form group. Now you can see in form group we have controls like email, phone, username, and if we click on the value array, we can find that email, phone, your name details. Okay, so the form group is displaying, working, and if we want, we can just ask it to print only the values from it. Form group dot value, and let's save it. And let's come back and try here. Raj at gmail.com with some phone number. Okay, super easy. Now it is just displaying only the value of that form. Now this is an example of working with reactive forms. So there is no much difference between template driven and reactive forms. In reactive forms, we need to import reactive forms module, and we need to create a component. In the component, we need to add these two classes, and in the form, we have to include the form group property, and in every control, we need to have form control name. Okay. So, and finally, we are going to declare and initialize form group and form control. We will use it to handle the data. And here are the stuffs. Here also you can use CSS class for validation, ng touched and all we can use. So what we did is, so step one, we just included the reactive forms module. Okay, so we just imported it. Step two, we created a component. So in the component, we just imported form group and form control. And step three, we just added a HTML form with the form group property and form control name attribute. Okay. And the last step is we just declared the form group and form controls. We initialize the form group with the form controls, and we just, when we submit, we just assign these data into this user form, and we are just fetching the value from the user form directly. Okay, so that's it about how to work with reactive forms. Thank you for watching.